Good afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, tensions high at the Batasang Pambansa as lawmakers resume their probe into Vice President Sara Duterte's budget use amid her intensified tirades against the government. Security around President Bongbong Marcos ramped up following VP Sara's supposed kill order against him. Developing nations reject the $300 billion climate finance deal reached by wealthier countries at the COP29 summit. And Wicked becomes the highest-grossing Broadway musical to be adapted into film. Thanks for joining us. Tensions are high and security is tight at the Batasang Pambansa as lawmakers continue their inquiry into Vice President Sara Duterte's budget use. This comes after the outburst of VP Sara, where she criticized the first couple and the House Speaker following alleged mistreatment of her Chief of Staff. That includes Zuleika Lopez's house detention and the supposed delayed medical attention for her. Zandro Achona is at the Batasang Pambansa and he joins us now for the latest. Zandro, as I understand it, Vice President Sara Duterte just arrived there.
Yes, Vice President Sara Duterte arrived at around 11:56 this morning, or just 5 minutes ago. And he's yet to enter the committee room as of this moment. However, among the resource persons who are here are the four Office of the Vice President and DepEd officials who were previously cited in contempt. They are Attorney Lemuel Ortonio, the Assistant Chief of Staff and Chairperson of the Bids and Awards Committee of the OBP, Gina Costa, Special Disbursing Officer of the OBP, Edward Fajarda, Special Disbursing Officer of the DepEd, and Attorney Sunshine Chadi Fajarda, the former DepEd Assistant Secretary who is now also working for the OBP. However, my OVP Chief of Staff, Zuleika Lopez, sent an excuse letter attached a medical certificate saying that she is suffering from an acute stress disorder and would not be able to attend today's hearing. Committee Chairman Representative Joe Achua said the committee must focus on getting answers where the 612.5 billion pesos controversial funds were used instead of dwelling on diversionary tactics. Bye.
Have you heard anything from the four OVP and DepEd officials?
As of now, we haven't heard from them yet, as they are still to have to take their oath. What the committee is doing right now is laying the grounds on what happened last Thursday and Friday when the Vice President broke the House security protocols. Secretary General Reginald Velasco and House Sergeant at Arms Napoleon Taas both answered questions from lawmakers and both denied the claims by the Vice President. Mai?
Mm-hmm. Of course, we're expecting another marathon hearing today with many more questions remain unanswered. As I understand it, they were just tackling the allegations of mistreatment of Zuleika Lopez and supposed delay of giving her medical attention.
Yes, you're right, Mai. And as what I understand, they're still doing their usual housekeeping on how to manage today's committee hearing. Right.
Mm-hmm. And also, Zandro, the most important thing here is no answers yet, no clear answers yet on how the OVP and the DepEd under VP Sara Duterte utilizes, disburses, and liquidates her supposed confidential funds.
Yes, Mai, you're right. And as what you can still remember, the Office of the Vice President and the Vice President herself has not taken the oath. And that was the reason why most of the lawmakers were not able to ask her questions. For today, we're looking at if she'll take her oath, then that would give the lawmakers the chance to ask her questions. Bye.
All right, Zandro, thank you for standing by. We hope to get updates from you later during the day. Zandro Achona reporting from the Batasang Pambansa. Members of the Makabayan Coalition gather outside the Batasang Pambansa to call for the removal of the Vice President following her tirades over the weekend. Joining us now on the line for more on this story is Bea de la Cruz. Bea, what can you tell us? What's happening there?
The Makabayan Coalition has drafted an impeachment case against Vice President Saras Duterte. Members of the coalition will be endorsing the impeachment case, and they said that they have been preparing for this for over a month. The complaint will contain the loss of confidence and betrayal of public trust due to the OBP's inability to address the use of confidential funds. Makabayan says that the complaint must be filed from the people since the confidential funds by the Office of the President is the money and taxes of the people that was allegedly put to use. Testimonies from the coalition will constitute the complaint, as they say that this will make it more substantiated and will strengthen their case for impeachment. Back to you, Mai.
Bea, any word on when this complaint will be filed?
Yes, Mai, the Makabayan Coalition hoping to file this before the end of December. Back to you, Mai.
All right, thank you for that report, Bea de la Cruz. Supporters of Saras Duterte trooped to the Veterans Memorial Medical Center Sunday night to rally behind the Vice President. Some of them say they are disappointed over how the Marcos administration is treating her. Others went as far as calling on President Marcos to resign. Among those who showed up were vloggers. Security remains tight around the VMMC, where Duterte's Chief of Staff, Attorney Zuleika Lopez, has been confined. It's the government, not Saras Duterte, that's having a meltdown. That claim from President Marcos's former executive secretary, Vic Rodriguez. On BNC's At the Forefront, Rodriguez also alleged House lawmakers are abusing their power to conduct investigations in aid of legislation.
The way they're handling the political persecution that they have initiated, sila nagme-meltdown. There is no debate that Congress have the power to initiate and conduct investigation in aid of legislation. But may mga boundaries, may limits yan. At kapag yung pang-aabuso sa contempt powers, ginagawang punitive. The contempt powers of Congress is an incident to compel appearance and obedience to their lawful and coercive processes. However, hindi ito kaparusahan na pag hindi mo gusto yung sinagot sa iyo ng resource person mo, you will dangle the threat of you will be cited in contempt and you will be in detention for God knows until when.
As for political analyst and Duterte supporter Maluti Kia, she believes the Vice President's supposed kill order against Marcos is not a threat.
Yung sinasabi kasi ni Executive Secretary, active threat daw. Siguro kay Attorney Bersamin, ikaw naman ay naging Chief Justice, no? Balik tayo sa grammar, English construction, yung use ng if, then. If something happens to me, then. So conditional. At saka hindi siya threat kasi meron pang hindi sinasabi si Vice Presidente na lahat tayo hindi natin alam. Nagkaroon ba ng threat? Babalik tayo dun sa panahon na binabawasan ang security niya. Bakit siya umalma sa pagbabawas ng security? Hindi ko yun masasabi ngayon. Siguro si Vice Presidente na ang magsabi kung anong nangyari. Kaya ito is a warning. Kung may mangyari sa akin.
Security around President Bongbong Marcos ramped up following VP Sara's supposed kill order against him. The Presidential Security Command says it has doubled the security detail of Marcos. Vehicles entering the Malacanang compound are also being tightly examined. The Presidential Communications Office, the National Police, and the National Bureau of Investigation have said they're investigating VP Sara's remarks. PNP CIDG Chief Nicolas Torres says they are considering all factors in building a case against the Vice President, including a possible impeachment. National Security Advisor Eduardo Año also considers her statements as a national security matter. After 2 weeks of marathon talks, a new climate finance deal has been reached at the COP29 summit in Baku, Azerbaijan. But it left developing countries frustrated. Richer nations agreed to contribute $300 billion a year to help poorer countries deal with the impacts of climate change. That's much less than $1.3 trillion that intended recipients had hoped for.
People doubted that Azerbaijan could deliver. They doubted that everyone could agree. They were wrong on both. We never accepted that the task was impossible. We knew that breakthroughs demand courage. We understood that reaching for the highest possible ambition is difficult. And we asked everyone to be brave.
No country got everything they wanted, and we leave Baku with a mountain of work to do. The many other issues we need to progress may not be headlines, but they are lifelines for billions of people. So this is no time for victory laps. We need to set our sights and redouble our efforts on the road to Beleng. Even so, we've shown the UN Paris Agreement is delivering, but governments still need to pick up the pace.
For some nations, it is just simply not enough.
I regret to say that this document is nothing more than an optical illusion. This, in our opinion, will not address the enormity of the challenge we all face.
That the developing country is saying that it's taking the lead with $300 billion till 2035 is a joke. And it's not something we should take lightly. I do not think it's something we should clap our hands and force us to take it.
La delegación cubana lamenta profundamente.
The scope of the decision adopted demonstrates the lack of agreement between our developed country partners in the face of the global panorama of climate change and reflects a clear intention to renounce their responsibilities, which have been historically and legally shouldered and recognized in the framework.
Even UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says he had hoped for a more ambitious outcome, but he asserts the agreement provides a base on which to build and must be honored in full. Parts of England and Wales reeling from the aftermath of Storm Bert. In the small Welsh town of Pontypridd, residents volunteered to help clear flooding and debris from homes and streets. Storm Bert rattled much of Britain over the weekend, bringing snow, rain, and strong winds. At least one person was killed, while it shut down several railway lines and closed bridges and roads. We're taking a break. Up ahead. Two lucky birds in Minnesota get a mealtime reprieve at this year's National Thanksgiving turkeys. That and more when Newsfeed at Noon returns. You're back on Newsfeed at Noon. Another OVP staff member is being treated at the Veterans Memorial Medical Center. Let's get the details from Francis Falve. Francis, go ahead.
Yes, my Vice President Saras Duterte gave an update on the condition of the Chief of Staff, Yusek Laika Lopez, at the Veterans Memorial Medical Hospital this morning. According to the Vice President, Attorney Lopez seems okay yesterday. They were speaking, but she's still weak and could not stand. But when the possibility of the other OBP staff to be detained came across their conversation, Attorney Lopez again had panic attacks. VP Sara adds she started crying and again saying that she is scared for her life. VP Sara urged their supporters to continue to pray for them and watch over Attorney Laika's safety. VP Sara also thanked the supporters of the OBP, though she said that they are busy delegating staff work while pacing the Congress hearing, and some had to attend to Attorney Laika. Senator Bato had also to cancel his schedule because he is watching over Yusek Laika this morning with her mom. Lastly, VP Sara reiterated her statement as a response to the remarks of the National Security Council. She questions why she did not get any invites for the meetings and demanded notarized minutes of the past meetings. VP Sara did not entertain any questions from the media and immediately boarded the vehicle that took her to the House of Representatives. But before that, Mai, she also told the media that she had another stop. This is a certain Nicole from the OBP, and according to the Vice President, this Nicole had an asthma and panic attack as well, and she is also being treated here at the Veterans Memorial Medical Center. Mai?
But Francis, this condition of Nicole, the other staff member of VP Sara, her condition is not related to what is happening at the House hearing?
Yes, but although there could also be some reason because they were speaking about the possibility of other staff members being detained or being cited for contempt. So they had panic attacks, and now she's being treated here at the Veterans Medical Memorial Center. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you for that report, Francis Falve. Local pump prices going up again this week. Gasoline prices will see the biggest hike of 1 peso and 15 centavos per liter. Diesel prices will also go up by 1 peso and 10 centavos. Kerosene prices as well, it will increase by 80 centavos per liter. The Energy Department said the hike is primarily driven by escalating geopolitical tensions, specifically Russia's war in Ukraine. The Ayala family's AC Mobility continues to provide Filipinos a more sustainable way to hit the road as it adds a new electric vehicle to their BYD lineup. Our mobility correspondent G. Baroga gives us details.
AC Mobility is stepping up its game to bring the best new EVs with the BYD Seal 5 DMI, offering a mix of high performance, cutting-edge tech, and user-friendly features for new and eco-conscious car buyers.
This model is a significant leap forward in our shared mission to make electric mobility accessible to every Filipino. This is a partnership that brings together BYD, a global leader in electric vehicle technology, and AC Mobility, a top-of-mind mobility partner providing end-to-end solutions.
BYD tested Seal 5 DMI and proved it can travel over 1,000 kilometers on a single full charge and tank.
Our team, together with Ramrack, the Ramirez brothers, took the Seal 5 from Manila to Tuguegarao to La Union to Clark, from Clark direct to Lipa, then back to Manila in BGC, covering 1,645 kilometers with one full tank and one full charge only.
The Seal 5 DMI comes in two variants, Dynamic and Premium. The launch coincides with BYD's 30th anniversary globally. On November 18th, it hit a historic milestone with the production of its 10 millionth new energy vehicle, the first automaker to reach this achievement.
Today's event is not just representing a new chapter for the BYD, but also a step closer for everybody to achieving a world powered by the clean and renewable energies.
By the end of the year, BYD plans to have 25 operating showrooms across the country, with plans to expand to 40 by 2025. Fans can expect even more product launches next year. For BNC Mobility, G. Baroga.
Tesla's CyberCab on display in Berlin, where it will stay until December 6. Originally unveiled in LA, the two-door, two-seater robo-taxi will go into production in 2026. Some analysts had expected the CyberCab to have more room for passengers and luggage, but Tesla CEO, tech billionaire Elon Musk says the vehicle's design was optimized for autonomy and affordability. Next stops for the robo-taxi include London, Paris, Amsterdam, Oslo, and Stockholm. Two turkeys in Minnesota are getting a mealtime reprieve to honor an annual Thanksgiving tradition. Meet Peach and Blossom, who are set for their official presidential pardon this Monday at the White House, the last in the Biden administration. The chairman of the National Turkey Federation, John Zimmerman, raised the turkeys with his family in the city of Northfield.
Peach and Blossom will be retiring to Farm America in Waseca, Minnesota, where they'll be well looked after and serve as agricultural ambassadors for hopefully years to come, providing visitors with an opportunity for education and a greater appreciation for agriculture.
Happy retirement for Peach and Blossom. We're taking another breather still to come. Wicked becomes the biggest Broadway musical to hit the big screen. The details when Newsfeed at Noon returns. Watching Newsfeed at Noon, a clean sweep for Gilas Pilipinas in the second window of the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. The men's national team cruised past Hong Kong in a rematch Sunday at the Mall of Asia Arena. Final score wasn't even close, 93-54. This time it was former UAAP men's basketball champ Carl Tamayo who led Gilas with 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. 4 other Gilas players scored in double figures, including big man Kai Soto, who posted 12 markers and 15 boards. Gilas will clinch an outright spot in next year's FIBA Asia Cup if New Zealand beats Chinese Taipei later today. And in entertainment, Wicked has now become the highest-grossing Broadway musical to hit the big screen. With an estimated gross earnings of $164 million globally, Wicked topped the debut weekend of Broadway-adapted film Les Miserables in 2012. This also makes it the third biggest movie of the year, following Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2. Starring Ariana Grande as Glinda and Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba, Wicked's story is a prequel to The Wizard of Oz and shows the audience how the Wicked Witch of the West came to be. Wicked Part 2 is expected to hit theaters in November next year. And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. We now bring you back to the House hearing into Vice President Sara Duterte's use of her budget.